There we go.
Hi.
Okay, well, welcome, Laura.
Thank you.
We are looking today to talk about the talk you're going to give at the 2015 North American Systemic Constellation Conference in November. And I have a few questions for you.
Yes.
Mostly about your talk, but we do have a few extras. So tell us about your talk that you're going to do on November 15th.
Yes, the talk or workshop is called Why Wait? Discover What You're Carrying. And it's all about your relationship to your body, to your physical body, especially your body weight, and your eating habits and food. So it's a big topic. And I come from the background of health coaching and having my own story, my very personal story with weight and eating. Still working on that. However, with the combination of constellation work, I found many different layers and levels of looking at weight. And the more we shed our pounds, the more layers come about. So that was a very interesting process for myself. And during this workshop, we will really look at the different layers that can be there, how our family system still influences our food choices and our health, and how we connect to the earth, to Mother Earth, and being in our body on Earth. It's an incarnation question. And on so many levels, people are, or I have to include myself, right? I mean, how many of us can say, I am living 100%? Because there are always this little tiny entanglements, loyalties that we may still keep with parents or other family members, where we just don't fully allow ourselves to live fully and in abundance. And I don't just mean money, I really mean happiness and health and all levels that we have here on Earth in life. And I think since food is such an amazing connector to us being here on Earth. I mean, if we don't have food, most of us starve. I know there are some who can do without food for years on end, but those are very few people. Most of us really need the connection to the food in order to be on Earth here. And so there are many ways to sabotage ourselves, and there are many ways to screw up. And every food choice we do and make will impact if we are more alive or closer to death. That's really, it's this big question. So all of that will be talked about and especially experienced in hands-on activities, constellation activities during my workshop.
Excellent. Well, that sounds like I should join that one.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Great. Yeah. Okay. That was pretty quick. And how did you come to this topic? I know it's something that you put out starting last year. Mm-hmm. Your business. How did it show up for you?
Well, it's really my personal story. I've been overweight for 16, 18 years, going up and down, yo-yoing, trying this diet or that diet, eventually giving up on everything and saying, you know what, as long as I don't understand what is going on, I'm not even going to attempt to lose the weight. And luckily, I went to the intensive in the summer 2013 in Connecticut, and found out a few things about myself and how I was holding on to weight just in order to not be visible. We can hide behind layers of fat so easily that through the constellation work, I was able to release that, to release this fear of being visible, especially for men. And due to, again, it was a family systemic concern or issue, and I freed myself from that and was able to lose the weight. So I lost a lot of weight and realized, wow, without the constellation work, the diet wouldn't have worked. I'm pretty sure I would have sabotaged myself, or I would have fallen off the bandwagon. So that was exciting, and I thought there are so many people out there who don't understand why the last diet didn't stick, why they can't maintain the weight. I really want to help everyone out there, and actually there are 2/3 of Americans who are overweight or obese right now, and 95% of them who have tried diets that have worked, they will regain the weight. So there are a lot of people out there who really, I just would love to give them the opportunity to understand why the weight doesn't stay off, and why they can't live there on this comfortable, ideal weight level.
Fantastic. I've done a few constellations around weight for other people, and I see so many different variables. So I'm so fascinated about you honing in on this subject. It's very interesting. Have you seen anything that's consistent in the work that you've done with your clients?
So far, I would say big topics is sexual abuse. That's the big one. I've been working with women. Not saying that it isn't present for men, but that's what I've seen, and trying to really hide in fat is a big part of trying to staying safe and feeling secure. Another one is visibility. It can be connected to sexual abuse, but it can also be connected to missing self-worth, knowing your own value, trying to hide from someone else who has been abusive on other levels in your childhood. It's emotional eating when we look at it, really. There's anger, there's loneliness and emptiness. That can be then from the family system. It can be eating for someone else, or trying to fill a position that you're in that you shouldn't be in, or that is, well, let's say this way, where there's the order not in place and you are attempting to be in a position of someone else, and because you can't fill it out, you have to fill it out with body weight. So
oh my goodness, that is a doozy, isn't it? I look forward to this one. Wow, that is so exciting. Okay, well, I have another question. Overall, when you look at constellations, one thing people have asked me to ask you is, what's your biggest insight?
Wow, the biggest insight. That I have to think about that one.
Okay.
There are huge insights, but the biggest, let me think. I would say it has to do with being incarnated and how to be in your body. The constellation process itself, when you're just representing, you kind of empty yourself and then have, feel things coming up that you are standing in. And that gave me an understanding of, wow, this is how you listen to intuition. This is how your body can tell you things, and you don't have to judge if that is correct or not. So I think doing constellation work for so many years now, I've been doing it for a decade now, I really learned to trust my intuition more and more. So even though every constellation brings amazing stories and amazing insights, just doing it consistently has helped me develop my intuition even further. So that is one part where I would say that really has changed me as well. And the understanding of that things are always, things can be, no, how should I say that? Any conflict can be resolved if you let the love flow again. So I don't fear conflict. I don't fear disharmony or discomfort any longer, knowing in the end I always have tools that I can resolve it with. So
that's awesome.
it's a hopeful feeling, right? When you know, oh, I have a tool that will work most of the time.
That's awesome. Oh, that's great. Okay, one quick one now. Haha, quick. How do you explain constellations to a stranger?
Oh, as we all know, this is a really hard one. I usually tell them it's a technique or it's a method that we use to bring to make underlying issues apparent and overt. That by that I actually like to compare to a movie. You know, we all have our own stories, and so someone starts with their own story and they start creating the plot, and so that is kind of setting out all the representatives, and you see the dynamic happening because it's in the story. But as a facilitator, then you are plus, with the whole system that is present, you can then reform the story into a healing story, into a happy ending, I guess. I love happy endings. There's in the beginning, it's always drama and conflict, and you think, oh my gosh, this can never be solved. But in the end, you get the happy ending, the awe feeling most of the time. And for the client, I love that the client has the option in the beginning to be an observer of their own story and to see their own story told in a different way. They suddenly get the bigger picture. So it goes from this narrative by the one person, from this one view into a bigger view. And with that, things shift. Suddenly the focus shifts and brings things back into flow. And so I always tell people, you can use constellation with anything that you can relate to. Obviously, we relate to our relatives and family members and husband and children, but we also relate to our body, to our weight, to our food, to cars, to houses, so to nature. Now, whatever you can relate to, that can be constellated, because wherever you find a disharmony, a conflict, that's where you want to look into and see what blocks the flow of love. And so to stay in this context of a movie, I love the expression that constellation work is a movie for the soul, because it's really on that level of your heart that starts to see in a different way.
Oh my gosh, that's lovely, Laura. Thank you so much. Okay, well, we're at just about 13 minutes, so we'll end here with one final quickie.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to anything in particular to see someone at the conference yourself?
All those great teachers that I've been hearing about, and I'm excited to meet it all in one spot. I mean, how amazing is that? The whole Constellation community in one spot. And I've never been to California, so I'm super excited to be there.
Okay, me too. Okay, well, thank you very much, Laura. I really appreciate this. And so we'll end it here, and we'll see you at the conference. I'm looking forward to it. All right, take care.
Thank you. Take care.